Tensura. The Abyss Demon by Wahab Adebanjo Chapter 15. Argent's Pav. This is bad, this is really bad. Velzard has gone nuts and wants to fight me, more like kill me. The aura she's releasing almost has me frozen solid. I activated thought acceleration at full power. If I'm gonna be fighting a true dragon, it'd be suicide if I don't go all out from the start. Degruel and his brother as well as Basara have gone to check on the other giants and inform Velda. Velzard blitzed right in front of me with her fist cocked back. The force behind it was deadly. If I were to get hit I surely would die. With thought acceleration on full throttle, there's a chance I might be able to dodge. It's not impossible. Oh buoy, was I wrong. Her fist smashed into me faster than I could react with so much force. It felt like I was hit by a truck. My body hurts like crazy. This was the first since I've reincarnated that I've felt pain. My body smashed through buildings after buildings with no sign of stopping until I reached a clearing with no one present. I stood up barely to inspect myself. My magic body could barely be held together. It was on the verge of falling apart. I was currently standing on a plain, no trees, just grasses. Damerganya was hundreds of kilometers away from my current location. I was shocked. I couldn't wrap my head around how far a simple punch threw me. Still, I'm glad we're far away from people. This battle will definitely cause a lot of damage. Lifting my hand where I can see, I saw it shaking. The force behind that attack could have killed me with a single strike, if I hadn't erected multi-layer barriers and reinforced myself. Despite that, I'm still reeling from the strength of that blow. Looking up to the sky, I see Velzard flying my way. You survived? Not bad, I'll add more force. Try to keep up. Her speed far surpasses mine. The only thing I can do is dodge and launch a counterattack when there's an opening. She doesn't seem to be taking the fight seriously. Great Sage, do your thing. I activated my skill at full power. Less than notice. Analysis in progress. Greater than with each strike Velzard threw at me. I dodged to the best of my ability, but due to the nature of her attacks, I'm getting frostbites and it's slowing me down. I'm burning through energy to resist the cold energy that was threatening to turn me into a popsicle. Velzard's strength is beyond common sense even without going all out. She is for some reason matching my speed, trying to gauge my battle prowess. It's annoying how she's playing with me like this. I am already exercising everything I can with Great Sage backing me up. Without it I'd probably be dead. I dodged another incoming punch. For the first time since the battle began, I counterattacked. I launched a nuclear cannon, but to my shock Velzard just slapped it away. It should be noted that I put my all into that attack. It'd probably be enough to one-shot archdemons. Your attacks are useless. I'd advise you to get serious or else you are going to get hurt, she said with a bored look on her face. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm covered in bruises and scars. My regeneration is abnormally slow as a result of the icy nature of her attacks. I calmed myself, sharpened my mind looking at nothing but Velzard. Now much more clearly than before, I could see the path her fist traced in the air. I'm about to have the deadliest battle I've ever had in my life. My battles with Veldanaba could only be called light spars so far. He was never serious. I don't think he even used a percentage of his true strength. Right now, I'm about to experience the true might of a true dragon. I will give it my all. I activated Great Sage and Utility simultaneously at full power to analyze Velzard's powers and moves as well as bring out the most power I can right now. I tapped into the energy I had gathered in the underworld to strengthen myself to the limit. If this is not enough, I'll have to use that. Velzard fired a blast of pure energy at me. Its speed was insane and its power is even more so. Less than notice. Energy attack detected. It is advised to absorb using Predator, greater than. Raising my hand, I unleashed Predator without wasting a second and began absorbing the energy. The force of the attack was overpowering the absorption ability of Predator, but I refused to give up. If Predator fails, I'll get hurt and I don't want that. I held on, focusing on absorbing the energy while Great Sage analyzes it and turns it into energy I can use. After absorbing it all, I looked Velzard straight in the eye. She seems confused at how I was able to counter her attack. You possess a troublesome unique skill, she said cautiously staring at me. You noticed? Look, I don't want to fight you. Let's just. I was interrupted. I refuse. I have yet to see what makes you so special, so you have no choice than to endure a little longer. Try your best not to get killed in one blow, okay? How can she say that while looking innocent? Now she's done it. I may not win, but I sure as hell will give her a good fight to remember. Less than notice. Analysis complete. Greater than good. I channeled the energy into my body, further reinforcing it. If she wants to throw punches, I'll throw mine as well. I blitzed to her position with my fist ready to strike. She caught it. I raised my knee to give her an uppercut, but she blocked it as well. Fine. Pointing the index finger of the hand she's holding, I unleashed my magic. Eternal flame. A flame capable of destroying the soul. She was caught off guard and backed off, but I wasn't going to give her space to breath. I pressed on, delivering a series of fast strikes. I continuously landed punch after punch, not giving her any time to get herself together. Left jab, right jab, uppercut, knee strike. I utilized my strength, speed and technique to overwhelm her. I was relentless. Despite my effort, she hadn't received any damage yet. I coat my fists in poison and pour a lot of energy to deliver a powerful punch. It connected and she was thrown back a couple meters. I glanced at her to see that the poison was taking effect. It was apparent with her skin turning purple and it was spreading. Is that all you can do? She asked haughtily. She released a wave of aura that swept across the battlefield. My body froze, but before it could completely turn into an icicle, I used my aura to repel it. I glanced at her one more time to notice that the poison was nullified. Crap, I'll have to use something else. Faster than I could react, she punches me with even more force than before. I managed to dodge at the last minute, but it wasn't enough. The left-hand side of my body was blown off. Nothing there but a gaping hole. I swiftly retreated to gain my bearing. I can't last longer than this. I'm already low on energy. I'll have used that then. Great sage. Can't fight anymore. Then let me end it. Saying that, she gathered a huge amount of energy and fired it at me with tremendous force. Predator. I activate Predator at full power, trying to gobble up all this energy. If she's gonna waste, I might as well use. Less than error. Miscalculation. Greater than before. I knew what happened. Predator was overpowered and I got hit by the blast. The resulting explosion shook the land while changing the very terrain. The blizzard that permeated the atmosphere increased in intensity. The result of the explosion created an iceberg over 10 feet high with spikes protruding out of it. My regeneration isn't working as it should. My limbs are gone. I have a hole in my chest. Right now I'm experiencing pain I've never felt before since I reincarnated. Despite my resistance to extreme temperatures, it is useless against a true dragon. I need to buy time for my plan to work. Why are you so determined to fight me? You are clearly stronger than me. What are you trying to prove? I asked weakly. It's none of your business, she replied coldly. Fine then. I regenerated my body instantly after regaining my energy. Although this isn't enough to best her, it should still give me a fighting chance, cause there's no way I'm going back to hell humiliated. HHHMM. What are you doing? Velzard asked. Omi, kukakufufufu, none of your business. Dark magic. Cataclysm. I fired off a condensed ball of minus energy. It traveled at incredible speed, hitting Velzard point blank and exploding with a tremendous force. It's a magic technique I created by condensing minus energy to the absolute limit and released, kind of like a nuke. It follows the same principle as gravity collapse and abyss annihilation, but it isn't as complex. It releases an explosion that corrodes and erases everything in its path. But I'm not done yet. Within the smoke I see Velzard standing there, mostly unharmed. The durability of true dragons is unfair. Before she could recover, I ran with all my strength and punched her. She caught it, but she looked surprised. Why? You? Did you get stronger? She asked. You're just noticing? I smiled. You may be wondering what I did. It's something I came up with to help me in my spars with Velda. Basically, I continuously absorb the surrounding magicules with the full might of Predator. Great Sage will analyze it and turn it into my own energy that I can use, and I'll use utility to strengthen myself to the utmost by pushing my body to the limit. It is common knowledge that the amount of magicules a monster has is somewhat directly related to its physical strength. Although magicules amount isn't really a deciding factor of true strength, it's still part of it nonetheless. True dragons have racial advantages of being stronger, faster, more durable, more magicules and all that. I don't have that, but I can however close the distance in our strength even by a little by absorbing the dense amount of magicules the both of us have been released since the beginning of the fight. Velzard is releasing the most amount of magicules between us, which is good for me. It is a cycle. I will continuously absorb magicules, use it and reabsorb it. Predator is the key to this strategy. There is a limit to how much I can directly absorb, but I can store the rest in my stomach and use it. Right now I feel my body getting stronger every second. I may not be able to beat Velzard, but I definitely won't be getting killed here. I launched at Velzard faster than I've ever since we started fighting. She is quick to react, dodges the attack and strikes back. I parry it and so we go back forth with hand-to-hand combat. I obviously have the upper hand in hand-to-hand combat since I'm more experienced than her, but she makes up for it with more power. Her attacks are heavy and powerful. I mustn't get hit by one of them, that's why I'm deflecting her attacks the best I can and dodging the rest. As the fight prolongs, the amount of magicules I keep absorbing is increasing my power further. It's still not enough. I push Predator to absorb more. Less than warning, there is risk of magicules poisoning if you carry on like this. Greater than. Leave it and carry on. I increase my speed to surprise her with a magic-infused punch, but before it could land, Velzard vanished from my sight. Did she teleport? No. I didn't feel any disruption in space. Could it be her natural speed? Just how outclassed am I? I thought in panic. I push the limits of thought acceleration and try and locate her. It was all for naught. Faster than ever before, she appeared behind me and kicked me so hard that I was finding it difficult to stay conscious. Gah! The pain is unbearable. My magic body is falling apart. I need more strength. More power. I increased the intensity of the absorption. Less than warning, magicules poisoning has been detected. Greater than. I can do this. Let's keep at it like this for now. I need to figure out a way to deal with this fast. Her speed is crazy. I can't keep up. Ha 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 ha, come on, show me what you can do. Let's see the true power of the Frost Dragon Velzard. I will match your intensity with everything I have. For some reason, I'm enjoying this. The thrill of this battle is unlike anything I've ever felt before. Utilizing all my powers simultaneously at full power, I gauged just how much power I've amassed. It's still insignificant compared to her. My body is weakening. The magicule poisoning is already taking effect, but I have to push on because I am Argent and there is no way I'm backing out of this blood-boiling fight. Such intensity, such power. The others have never made me feel like this ever. Show me more. Will of the individual, Argent, has been confirmed. Unique skills, Battle Sage, has been acquired successfully. I heard the voice of the world in my head announce, but I couldn't help but. Is that packing all? I am here risking my life and you grant me just one skill? Why the pack are you so stingy, Voice of the world? Give me more power. Velzard still has the power to one-shot me like it's a piece of cake. You can do better than that, you old hag. Now stop being stingy and give me more power. Confirmed. Unique skills, Great Sage, Utility, Battle Sage, and Predator, will attempt to evolve. Successful. Unique skills, Wisdom, and Devourer, have been acquired. Ha 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 ha, now that's more like it. This is much better. Sensing the changes in my skills, I looked deep into my soul to familiarize myself with its power. Great Sage. You still with me or what? Less than unique skills, Great Sage, has evolved into unique skill, Wisdom, and unique skills, Predator, has evolved into unique skill, Devourer, greater than. You sound more fluent than before. Less than it is in your imagination, greater than. Whatever, as long as you're stronger I don't mind. I can feel it, the power of my new skills are greater than what they used to be. My thought acceleration has increased by over 100. But is it enough to fight Velzard? I looked at her standing not far from me, looking at me cautiously. Did I make you wait? I asked teasingly. Velzard stopped and looked at me curiously. You're different. It matters not to me anyways, she said and lunged at me. Unknown to Argent, Velzard noticed a change in Argent's aura. She couldn't tell what had happened, but she was still confident she could kill him without effort, having pride in the power she possesses as a true dragon. As for Argent, this time around I can at least follow her movement, Not exactly, but I see a streak of light heading at me very fast. It's obviously Velzard. I dodged her attack and sent a kick at her. She blocked it by raising her arm. She raised her hand and fired ice lances at me. They were no ordinary lances. Its power is incomparable to what I've ever seen. I raised my hand and said, "Devour." A torrent of black ominous smoke emerged from my hand and consumed it all. The consumption power of predation has increased. This is good, I mused. Velzard looks shocked but got over it very quickly and attacked me with even more speed. It was to the extent I couldn't see her. Suddenly, I felt a sense of danger coming behind me. I backflipped, avoiding the attack. I looked to see it was a spike that emerged from the ground aiming for my back. I didn't think she'd be this cunning. But wait, what was that? I felt a sense of danger come over me the moment the attack was launched. Less than this is the effect of the skill, battle instinct, greater than. Okay then. Let's go with the flow then. I dodged the flurry of attacks coming from Velzard. Her movements are hard to follow, so I'm doing the best I can to dodge and block, utilizing my instinct and experience. Her fighting style is good and she is only getting better as we fight. Less than notice. Would you like to copy the fighting style of individual named Velzard? Yes? No? Greater than. Wait, when did you learn to do that? Less than notice. It is now a function of the unique skill, wisdom. Activate skill. Yes? No? Greater than. A big yes is all I can say. I would love to gain the upper hand in this fight because the more prolonged it is, the more my chances of losing are. The Magicule's poisoning is still in effect. I'm resisting it with pure willpower. I'll have to use up a huge amount of Magicules, almost making myself run out to help relieve it. The moment I answered yes, information about the fighting style of Velzard flowed into my head. I immediately analyzed it and replicated it to the best of my ability. Velzard looks taken aback by that fact. You are copying my fighting style. You are really difficult to deal with, you know, she finally admitted. I'm sure she's never met anyone that can match her to this extent. Why are you complaining? You started it, I retorted. She increased her speed once more. I could feel the huge energy she was gathering. This attack is aimed to finish me off. Using the knowledge of her fighting style, I predicted where she was most likely to attack. My guess is my lower torso. There is no way to dodge, so I'll have to do this. I pumped more Magicules through my body to increase my speed and strength. I gently caught what I assumed to be Velzard's hand since I can't see her movements at all. I activate my predation skill to absorb the energy gathered at her fist. Once that was done, I flung her over my shoulders, judo style. While on the floor, I activate predation to drain her of her energy. If I can't win against her, I'll have to wear her down somehow. I can easily replenish my energy with Devourer, but she can't. Absorbing as much energy as I can within that second, I back off, dodging the fist aimed at my head. Gathering a terrifying amount of Magicules, I unleash a powerful spell that I've been holding back from using because of its destructive nature. If I use it, Damerganya might end up being caught in it, since I plan on fueling it with more than half my Magicules so as to deal with the Magicule's poisoning. Gravity collapse. I yelled. This spell is a nuclear-type magic that creates a localized gravitational field disruption, resulting in a field of supergravity which quickly compresses all the energy in the area into a single point, effectively creating an artificial black hole. Then, the flow of energy reverses, exploding outwards in something resembling a supernova. The barrier used to contain the blast extends upwards instead of outwards, creating a massive pillar that goes all the way out into space. This spell's area of effect is enormous. The energy used to cast is tremendous, as proof of that the explosion spread like wildfire. The sky darkened, the earth quaked, the air boiled, and all life within the battlefield was snuffed out, while those close to the battle were either straight up killed by the force and pressure of the explosion or were severely injured. This magic encompasses all physical and magical phenomena, making it extremely hard to defend against. It may be just the thing to slow down Velzard. If she doesn't back down, I still have more attacks of the same or greater caliber. Chapter 16, Third-Person POV. The fight between Argent and Velzard can only be described as catastrophic. Dagruel had already made sure that everyone was fine. Due to the high magic resistance of the giants, no one was killed. The fact that Velzard did not release the full brunt of her aura also played a role. Dagruel followed after them to prevent a disaster from happening, but he was too late. By the time he got there, the two were already duking it out. The fight was intense but one-sided. Velzard obviously had the upper hand. Argent was doing his best to block, parry or dodge most of her attacks. The fact that he was still alive and able to counterattack showed Dagruel just how strong Argent is in his own right. Switching from hand to magic occasionally, the two combatants displayed their prowess with no one to bear witness to the earth-bending power they possess. Their battle was so mesmerizing that Dagruel forgot the reason he came there. Velzard was the one doing the most damage. Her attacks ignored the defense of Argent and packed enough power to kill him instantly. While she did this, she was also destroying the landscape. Her freezing aura was turning everything in the vicinity to ice, and it was spreading to Demargnia. Dagruel erected a barrier to keep the aura from reaching his kingdom. He held on for several minutes before he noticed that the aura was retreating. Dagruel saw that both Velzard and Argent had already changed locations as they fought. No. Taking a closer look, Dagruel noticed that Argent was purposefully leading Velzard away from Demargnia while trying to keep the destruction to the land minimum. He is thinking about us in this dire situation. He really does live up to Veldanava-sama's description. Dagruel thought while viewing Argent in a new light. Brother, what are you doing here? Aren't you meant to stop those two from destroying the land? Glassard asked from behind Dagruel. How exactly do I get between them? In a fight of such magnitude? Dagruel replied, looking at the two streaks of light clashing in the distance. Have you informed Veldanava-sama? Dagruel asked. I have. He is on his way, replied Glassard. Let's hope he gets here in time to prevent those two from doing irreparable damage to the world. We'll have to contain the damage from their fight. Help me reinforce the barriers. The two brothers combined their powers to close off the space where those monsters were fighting. The battle raged on for hours. With each minute that passes by, Argent is pushed back and weakened even further due to the damage he's taking. Until something changed. The amount of magicules within Argent began to increase at an alarming rate. It baffled the brothers. Nonetheless, they watched the ensuing battle with bated breath to see who would emerge victorious. It did not surprise Dagruel when, even with the power boost, Argent still couldn't do much to Velzard. Velzard launched a blast of energy at Argent. He tried defending, but it was useless. Despite all the damage Argent has accumulated, he was still able to stand. Velzard-san must really be going easy on Argent, stated Glassard. Argent gathered a dark energy and fired it at Velzard. The resulting explosion was devastating. The shockwave shook the very earth. What was that power? Was Argent holding back all this time? Asked Glassard, perplexed. Dagruel said nothing. He himself doesn't understand what's going on, but what happened next really shook him. Velzard survived the attack, not a shocking thing, but after a few more exchange, the aura of Argent began to intensify. He kept pushing himself despite the huge gap in power between him and Velzard. Suddenly everyone noticed it. Argent laughed maniacally. His aura was let loose. Everyone could tell that something was different about him, but no one could say what exactly. The next round proved them right. His reaction speed, reflex and technique were sharpened even further. He defended against Velzard's attack perfectly. Every one of her attacks vanished within a black mist. This puzzled the giant brothers. They questioned the kind of power Argent was in possession of. That wasn't the end of it. As they exchanged blows, Dagruel could tell that Argent was getting better at handling the onslaught of the true dragon. The result was the fact that Argent was able to throw Velzard over his shoulder and slam her to the ground. A feat no one will be able to do, never in a million or billion years. After a continuous back and forth between the juggernauts, Argent unleashed a powerful spell that shook the earth. The sky darkened, the earth trembled, and everything within the vicinity of the two was evaporated. I see. That's why he lured her away from Darmagania. If he had unleashed this attack within our borders, there would be nothing left. Dagruel muttered. Such terrifying magic. As expected from Veldanava-sama's friend. Glassard praised. Dash 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 dash. Argent's POV.
Looking into the cloud of smoke in front of me, I couldn't help but sigh tiredly. Within the smoke is Velzard. Her clothes seemed roughed up, but otherwise she is not hurt. I really can't stress how durable true dragons are. Are the others this absurdly powerful?
Drawing me out of my thoughts, not bad, you're beginning to take this more seriously, so let's continue, Velzard said.
No, I am gassed out. I can't do this anymore, I exclaimed. She turned into a blur before I could speak my mind. I felt a sudden sense of danger from behind me. I materialized a sword and swung as hard as I can. A resounding cling was heard.
Velzard blocked my sword strike with her nails. What an incredible display of power. She counterattacked faster than I could comprehend. She's gotten better at dealing with me. I can tell, her moves are precise.
I can't read her anymore. I was watching her every move in order to be able to react quick enough in case of any sneak attack, but she has gone way beyond what I can follow.
My body is accumulating damaging every second we exchange a blow. I'm trying to figure out what I can do in this situation. Less than notice. Future attack prediction has been learned. Activate skill yes, no, greater than. Great saw. I mean wisdom sure is amazing. Coming up with skills that would help me in any situation. This time is no exception. This time it came up with one hell of a skill. Less than notice. It was not acquired, it was learned. Greater than no problem either way. I immediately used the skill, and when I did, I could see streaks of light in my vision, printed into my mind. One of them was glowing. I brought my hand up in a catching motion to block its trajectory, then marveled at how I was able to catch Velzard's deadly fist. She herself looked shocked that I was able to perform such a feat. Nonetheless, she continued her onslaught, trying to overwhelm me with sheer force since she noticed that she wasn't gaining the upper hand in this fight any longer. Those light streaks must represent the attacks currently possible from my adversary's position, with their projected path. A few more repetitions and I noticed some of these streaks were black in color. This meant unpredictability and a more threatening strike down the road. In other words, I suppose, all her feints could now be pre-calculated. But that isn't always the case. If my adversary is faster than me, then it'd be useless, or if there's a sharp change in fighting style mid-fight, then it could spell trouble for me.
Fortunately for me, Velzard seems to be holding back a lot, since I haven't been killed in one blow since the start of the fight. The pre-calculation wasn't even the scariest things about this move. It lays in its accuracy. The streaks of light didn't represent possibilities. If the prediction was successful, then there is a 100% chance of an attack coming from that way. With newfound confidence, I engaged Velzard in a fist brawl. Trying every single move I could think of to gain the upper hand, but to no avail. I deflect her attacks, while utilizing Devourer to drain her of her energy. She suddenly backs off, creating distance between us. I instantly used that to my advantage and began concocting a new move. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "You are the first person to ever last this long in a battle with me. It is unnerving." Unbeknownst to Argent, Velzard was slightly impressed. She has lived her life thinking no one could ever match the power of a true dragon. There are exceptions like the primordial angels and true giants. Although they are strong, Velzard still thinks of them as inferior. Yet, right in front of her is a demon weaker than those angels, and still she hasn't defeated him like she originally planned to. It was a blow to her self-esteem and confidence. Even if she was holding back, the power she is exerting should be more than enough to kill this demon 1,000 times over. It infuriated her. She was snapped out of her reverie by black chains that tied around her, immobilizing her and draining her energy rapidly. She looked up at Argent. "This is the first time I am trying this. Although it is dangerous, I believe there is a first time for everything." Saying that with a maniacal smile on his face, Argent unleashed one of the most powerful spells in his arsenal. Abyss Annihilation, an ultra-powerful technique that taps into dark magic to summon minus energy from the bottom of hell and mixes it into gravity collapse, creating an extremely devastating explosion that can potentially destroy the world. This spell was concentrated on one person. The resulting explosion was so powerful, it shook the continent. A testament to the amount of power Argent used to cast the spell. The sky darkened, the air burned, the earth quaked, all life within the vicinity was reaped without excluding any organism. Tisk. Still not enough, huh? I lamented after sending that Velzard was still in one piece. She started emitting more of her aura, which dropped the temperature of the surrounding lower than what it already was. It has gone way below absolute zero. Not giving her the chance to counterattack, I unleash a spell I had devised. A small magic circle manifested both on the ground and in the sky, with Velzard in between. Dark electrical discharge connected heaven and earth, releasing countless dark spots, the devouring fangs of darkness that consumes all matter. Nihilistic Parade is an area of effect version of Nihilistic Banish that can affect an entire battlefield. But, I rewrote the magic so it would only encompass a small diameter, large enough to encircle only Velzard. This will concentrate the force of the attack on her, hopefully doing more damage. A wave of annihilating energy appearing as dark spots filled the space within the barrier, causing anything within it to be erased from the world. But I wasn't done yet, utilizing Great Sage, I poured even more energy to carry out this final attack that would hopefully be enough to render Velzard unable to fight anymore. Dark magic circles similar to the ones that appeared before manifested again, both in the sky and on the ground with Velzard at its epicenter, only this time 4 magic circles each appeared in the sky and on the ground. Quadruple bypass. Nihilistic break, I said out loud, calling the name of the magic I created. A new type of nihilistic magic. It was created with Nihilistic Parade as a base. Only this one is much more powerful. None of the primordials can ever survive this, though I know that comparing them to a true dragon is a misplaced comparison. A blinding dark light illuminated the surrounding. The pillar of light stretched up into the sky as if connecting heaven and earth. The power it released was phenomenal, far greater than Nihilistic Parade, and evidence of the amount of energy I poured into the attack. I waited patiently to see the results of my effort. Sure enough, Velzard survived, but not without taking damage. Her energy level was also very low. It was a win for me, this would make things easier for me. I stared at her for a second to see if she still had the desire to fight. Her clothes were torn, she has a few scratched here and there, but it healed very quickly. She looked me dead in the eye, clearly pissed. I readied myself for any sudden attack. She pressed on, ready to end my life in one strike, but there was no way I was going to allow that. Weaving through her attacks with great dexterity, I carefully planned my next move. She swung her fist in an attempt to take off my head. I crouched lower to dodge and aimed at her abdomen. I struck with a powerful palm strike, sending my demonic aura into her body. She was pushed back a few meters away by the attack. Not only that, she had a pained expression on her face. I had used a technique which pumps aura into the body of my opponents, damaging them from within, and even crippling them. It is an effective technique against spiritual lifeforms. Velzard was quick to nullify the effects of my attack. It was annoying, but not unexpected. She zoomed towards me to attack. I backed off, creating space for my next attack. Gathering minus energy on the tip of my index finger. It grew to the size of an apple. I shot it at the approaching Velzard. As it traveled, the energy ball grew in size, pulling all matter and energy as it did. Since it was traveling in a straight line, it was easy for Velzard to evade. Just what I wanted. What I had just unleashed was another one of the various nihilistic magic I had created in my spare time. As an immortal, almost every second is spare time. Nihilistic magic. Black hole, a magic that creates a black hole which absorbs and erases all matter from existence. It was created using spatial control, gravity manipulation, and magic. Velzard tried her best to resist the gravitational pull, but it was futile. She got sucked in right in front of me. Right then, I felt a familiar presence close in on our location. I sighed in relief, feeling like all this was about to end. About damn time. I thought this would carry on for much longer. I thought while relaxing my body and mind. I watched as the black hole dissipated. Velzard stumbled. She had holes in her body that leaked magicules. I was glad that my attack was able to do that much damage, but sad that it didn't end her. I guess I was being too optimistic. Thinking the fight was over, I tried to say something to alleviate the tension between us when all of a sudden I saw sharp claws heading for my head at an impossible speed. I could see it, but I'm not fast enough to react to it. Who knew Velzard would attack when I let my guard down, thinking the fight was over? I couldn't do anything but watch as the claws were going to penetrate my head. This attack carried the power to end me if it hit, an instant kill. I tried to devise any way to counter it, but nothing came to mind. My magic barriers would shatter if it came in contact with those claws, and I couldn't react fast enough to dodge or parry it. Wisdom had nothing to say on how to counter it. Meaning I have no choice than to get hit or hope for a miracle to happen. Sure enough, a miracle did happen in the form of none other than Veldanava. He landed right between us and caught Velzard's hand effortlessly. The energy in her hand dispersed immediately. He looked back and forth at both of us like we were troublesome kids. How did this come to be? He asked, looking at us as if we were troublesome children. You should ask your little sister over there. She attacked me out of nowhere, I said with a look of annoyance. I was not happy. I almost died many times in this battle, and I intend on letting Veldanava know that. He looked at Velzard with an arched brow. Care to explain what caused all this? She suddenly turned from a murderous demon to a sweet angel, saying, I just wanted to test Argent, that's all. You talk so much about him every time. I decided to see what made him so special for him to have you praise him every time. I was beyond shocked at what happened next. Oh, is that so, my little Velzy? Well, what do you think about him now? Veldanava asked, ignoring the fact that I almost got killed by his little sister. He is weak and there is nothing special about him. Velzard flatly said. Wow, disrespect of the highest order. I'm appalled at how fast and bluntly she said it. Weak. Ha 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 ha, yet you couldn't kill him even after battling him for 2 days. Veldanava replied. 2 days. We were fighting for 2 days. How come I didn't notice? Was I so engrossed in the fight I didn't feel the flow of time? Less than notice. Master was. Greater than. Yeah, whatever. I don't care anyways. I just want to go home and relax. He is weak but he shows great potential. Velzard said with a pout reminiscent of a spoiled brat. I know, right? Ha 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 ha, come let's go. You've done enough damage to the world already. Dash 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 dash. Third person POV. Within Heaven's Tower, in a spacious room cut off from the rest of the world. Present are Argent and Veldanava sitting opposite of one another. You still won't talk to me? Veldanava asked with a sad expression on his face. Of course not. I almost died. Your sister was so close to offing me from the world. Argent replied, fuming. It's not a big deal. Also, you didn't get killed. After all, you are here with me, are you not? Veldanava tried to appease his best friend. Quote. Argent stayed silent, giving his bestie the silent treatment. Sighing, Veldanava said, it can't be helped that you are mad at me. Oh well, if you are mad at me, that means you won't accept the sword I made for you. Argent's ears perked up after hearing that. It then hit him. The reason why he came here was for the sword Veldanava promised him. I may be mad at you, but I'm not mad at the sword you made for me. I'll accept it without issue. Argent replied, trying to sound dignified. Veldanava chuckled at his friend's playful antics. Oh. How can you accept the sword if you are mad at its creator? Quote. Silence filled the room. Oh well, if you aren't going to say anything, I might as well keep my sword for. Fine. If I get my sword, I may or may not forgive you. Argent said, looking at anywhere but Veldanava's direction. Is that a promise? Veldanava asked. Only one way to find out. Veldanava smiled and materialized a sword from thin air. A palpable pressure descended on the room, weighing heavily on Argent. The pressure was coming from the sword. Quote. What in the world is this? Argent asked, looking at the sword with intrigue. He couldn't believe that such pressure was coming from a weapon that would soon become his. This is a sword I created using Starheart, a very powerful metal with special characteristics, and the core of a magnetar. I took my time making it, which is why I told you to only come after 100,000 years. You came later than expected, but it only gave me more time to work on it. As it is right now, it exceeds the performance of all the weapons I've crafted so far. Feldway's Arc, Dino's Excalibur and Caliburn, Asura and Diva, none come close to this masterpiece. A powerful weapon just suited for my best friend. Don't you think so? Argent was left flabbergasted. The only time he had ever felt this kind of pressure from a weapon was when he first saw Veldanava's sword. Less than notice. Analysis of the weapon has failed. Greater than. I can't even analyze it. It's just that busted. Argent thought. You're speechless. A fitting reaction after seeing my work. What do you think? Do you like it? Veldanava asked. Like it. I love it. It makes my long wait and almost dying worth it. Although, for some reason, I can't analyze it. Why is that? Argent exclaimed. Oh, that is because it is a god-grade weapon, living objects with the ability to choose their owners. God-grade equipments can remain immutable when faced with damage or the passage of time, being able to heal any and all damage with the consumption of magicules. These tools only lend their power to those whom they deem worthy and will transform into whatever form suitable for their owner. It can mask its unique properties from others, even from one's analyze and assess. That is quite impressive. It is even capable of resisting the wavelength of every physical properties. It even cancelled out the wavelength within the visible light spectrum, which explains why it's pitch black. Argent said as he observed the sword closely. Go on, pick it up. Veldanava encouraged. Argent moved closer, looking at the sword with bated breath. Argent picked it up with one hand, examining it while swinging it occasionally to see just how balanced the sword is. It is surprisingly light. You'd expect something made from the most powerful star and metal to be heavier, don't you think? It is all thanks to my craftsmanship. Veldanava commented with a proud smile on his face. Suddenly the sword glowed, the illumination extending to cover Argent's whole body. The color of the sword didn't change much, but its pitch black color was lighter than before. This is the true form of the sword, a black long sword emitting a rainbow hue. This puzzled Argent. It accepted you as its master. This is very good. Can you feel it? Veldanava asked. Yes. I can feel the power of the sword, it has elevated my strength as well. Argent said, analyzing the sword. So, should we test to see just how strong you have become with your weapon? Veldanava asked with a knowing grin on his face. Argent grinned back. Challenge accepted.